Today, we find ourselves enveloped in another update from Dice LA to the community map project for Battlefield 4. Already, we've seen them tweak the scaling of the map and add the trees and bushes that we so desperately wanted. But now, we're moving on to design features. And, as I'm sure you can tell from the title of this video, it's the inclusion of the temple, and it's got everyone excited. This has replaced the standard waterfall location that was previously implemented into the map, and in my opinion makes this section much more entertaining and fun to play in. Dice LA have set up thematic goals, they're calling them, for each of the capture points on the map, and this is basically their vision of what they think the objective represents and how they'd like it to fit into the story of the map. So for the temple waterfall, their description is as follows. Ancient temple being reclaimed by the jungle, heavily featuring water as it's placed behind a waterfall. The goal is to have fighting happen through and behind the waterfall and through the thick water mist that's blanketing the area. Now from the footage in the background, you can see the basic structure of the objective, which allows players to swim under the structure and end up in a pool in the middle, which is actually inside the capture flag burn, meaning you can cap the objective from inside the pool, which is a nice touch. And they've allowed players to enter the temple on top as well, which gives us some really nice vertical gameplay. I like the way that the waterfall provides some makeshift translucent cover, and as much as you might think it looks very weak right now, the amount of players that just ignored me when I was in that mist was pretty high. It was as if they just had like blinkers on and weren't really focusing on what was going on around them. And that gives me enough confidence to know that Dice LA putting that in has kind of already got one of their objectives right there, which people wanted the waterfall to impact gameplay. And the fact that people were just ignoring me when I was underneath the waterfall, that's enough for me to know that the waterfall is playing a big part in this map. Right now, however, there isn't a huge amount of jungle trees or vines, etc. that are latching onto this temple, which was another statement in what they said they wanted to get right for this objective. And the main reason for that, I think, is because the map is still without textures. And a lot of people mentioned in my last update that when the trees were placed onto the map, that many thought that the textures now needed to be added to try and bring some authenticity to the map and the combat that's going on. Well, I think the main reason that that hasn't been done yet is that the devs are still nowhere near finished with this map yet. And I think adding textures is more of a statement that you're nearly done with a map, rather than one that's still halfway through development. So right now there are still plenty of things to be worked on, and I'm sure later down the line, Dice LA will speak up when the time is right, when they're going to be adding textures. They're just not there right now. Overall though, I really like the inclusion of this temple on the map. It was one of the key points actually that, if we go back a couple of months when Dice LA were first starting to take feedback for their idea for this jungle map, it was one of the things they put in one of the polls, I think, where loads of people chose temple ruins and then they didn't get added into that first picture of the map that everyone saw. And I think a lot of people were quite disappointed there, but they did obviously have plans for it because it's in there right now. Which is, again, another reason why I think Dice LA are doing something great here. They really are listening to the community when it comes to this map. And I think the whole objective now feels much more suited to the gameplay going on around it, and suited to the map location as well, because before, it was just a big waterfall and nothing really happened there, and people wanted it to influence gameplay. And I think Dice LA have done really well on that, with the sprays and the waterways underneath, which allow you to wreak havoc on the enemy team if you don't know where they are. A couple of other things before I go today that I just want to mention. Dice LA have added some really cool CTE specific dog tags for premium players in this latest update too, and depending on how much time you spent in the CTE will depend on how many of the 3 you can unlock. Now, I've spent just over 50 hours playing in the community test environment now, which gave me the chance to unlock the CTE noob dog tag. I'm so proud of that. For those of you with a bit more dedication than what I've got, and who've spent 150 hours or more in the CTE, you'll be able to take advantage of the CTE advisor dog tag as well as the noob dog tag. And finally, for those die-hard shit bucketeers out there, there's a CTE specialist dog tag available for you if you spent more than 300 hours of your life staring at a PC screen playing in the community test environment. These tags are transferable into the vanilla version of Battlefield 4 as well, so you can show off just how much of the CTE you play. You can claim them on the CTE version of Battlelog. If you log out and back into the vanilla version of Battlelog, the actual one that most people use on PC to play Battlefield 4, and if you head into the Dogtag section, you can then equip them. You've got to make sure that you claim them on the CTE first, otherwise they won't be unlocked in normal Battlelog for you. But that's about it for today. Sorry I haven't really posted much this week. I've had a busy few days at work and had to sort out some real life stuff too. I set up a business for running my YouTube channel through, which was pretty exciting. But next week I'll make sure I get back to a normal schedule, and there's plenty of things that I've got coming up that you guys hopefully will like to watch. If you could drop me a like today, that'd be much appreciated. And don't forget to hit up g2a.com/r/Westy for all the best deals on the latest games. The link's in the description. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.